shoeless person.
Hey,
Grandkids over.
yeah. Didn't watch her Monday, and they needed help today.
How you been this week? All right.
Hanging on by a thread. Literally hanging on by a thread.
How literal is literal? Are you saying you could
I
pop your
have
clogs at
no
any
idea how
time?
my head is upright right now. I have no earthly idea how my head. It hurts so bad to hold my head up like this right now
All right.
that I just
Shouldn't you have
want to
like a
scream.
neck brace on or something? Does it do anything?
I
You
can
not.
put that on, but I'm not going to do that live here. I've got
Oh,
a
if it
solid
helps.
neck brace. I've got all kind of
Does it not help
medications
with the
I can
pain?
take, but
Does it not help with the pain?
a little bit. The only thing that really works is just getting knocked unconscious with it, but that's a whole big trade off. So my
Yeah, you don't want
body's
to be
just giving me
unconscious.
fits the past couple weeks. I had to do a bunch of lawn care. And that really
Yeah.
knocked me stupid. And then we had family time for the holiday, and that really knocked me stupid. And
So you sorted out your ceiling now? Is it all sorted now?
nope,
The ceiling all sorted?
nope. Everything went into bills. We're scrimping and scraping, trying to figure out how to get somebody out here to do that stuff.
Oh, I thought you'd done that already. You
That
were
was
working on it a
the
while back,
highest.
weren't you?
That was the highest priority outside of bills, but bills just gobbled stuff up.
I gotta say, them bills are right bastards, isn't they? I can't stand
Yes,
bills.
he is.
Bills are all a bunch of tosspots. Them bills. No one likes a bill.
Now
The
you're going to
field
feel
of
all
bills.
guilty. Look what I did to my finger.
What have
Oh
you
yeah,
been
yeah.
doing?
What have
Have
you
you hit it
done?
with a hammer?
I got it
Was you
stuck in
pecked by
the.
Foggle
I was
Leggle?
closing. I closed the freezer door on it.
Mm. Hey, I
Ah,
got a question.
why?
One of those things I'd never done before. No, I'm kidding.
I got a
It
question.
was an accident, dumbass.
I got a question about that. Hold it up again.
No, rather you
Is
That
didn't.
that the
nail's going to
creator
come
of
off, Bill.
Batman?
Huh?
Ugh.
Is that the creator of Batman?
Oh
Bob Finger.
God.
It's Bill's finger, so
Oh,
yeah.
dear me.
So
Oh,
I now have not one, not two, but three panels for Comic Con.
okay.
So I have the original one I told you about weeks ago, how the Flash saved the comics industry. Number two is Bill Finger with Athena Finger and Lenny Schwartz and Alex Grand. And then the third one is I'm in a horror comics panel again with the same like leaders of modern horror comics. So
Like, just
there you
you
have
don't
it.
get paid for doing these, do you?
No, I do not. Thanks for pointing
So
that
you just
out.
you just do it for the fun of it, just for the enjoyment of it,
He
No,
not
does
for
it
it's
for
the
the
no, you do it.
prestige.
You, I,
prestige.
it's hard to
Is there
say this
prestige?
when I'm really still a nobody, but uh, you do it for your brand, and you also do it because once you get more notoriety like that, you get more book deals.
Right. That's cool.
that's what I'm hoping for.
Right.
I'm also hoping to ink the deal on my 60s cartoon book. Uh,
But you're flying us all out for those panels, right?
oh hell yeah!
I noticed you still haven't shown us any of your animation yet.
My
And I did
oh
ask.
my
I've asked a few times over the course of this show. When are you going to show us
Well,
some of your
there's
animation?
one really bad one that I have access to, and I'll show that
Can we see a good
sometime.
one?
I don't have any really good ones that are online because a lot of the stuff I've done has been for private contractors and military, and I can't show it. But
So
I
like
did.
information, like kind of info kind of commercials, that kind of thing, like instruction videos, that kind of thing.
Suction video.
You
Well,
and STDs, welcome
Well,
to
why
the
is it for the
Orient.
military if it's
well,
not
you
kind of some kind of suction thing?
haven't you guys ever seen my TV series, the one on the Shroud of Turin?
The one on the what?
The one on the
No, no, I've
Shroud
not seen that. No, it's
on the
on some.
Shroud. That one's pretty
No,
good.
yeah, that's
Except
not animation, though, is it?
the host is a little wonky, but other than that,
Well,
of course I host it, so
I've got to say the whole freaking theme is a bit wonky if you ask me. But that's there you go. That's me. That's my opinion.
you're bad. You're bad. I'm gonna
No,
turn the
I'm
light
just
off
not
so you can see
religious
me
in the
better.
slightest. So I don't believe in it at all. I think it's been debunked about 5 times already. But
Well,
whatever.
it's a much more complicated story than that.
Yeah, the more experimenting you do on it, and the more theories you drag up for it, then yeah,
Well, I mean, look,
it's like apologetics for shrouds. I'm
we're
guessing.
not gonna know what's what till we kick the bucket anyway.
Yeah.
So, or know that there's nothing. So,
I'm
I
pretty
mean,
sure that any of the stories in the Bible are mostly based on fiction. That's all I can
well,
say.
after you die, come back
Talking
and tell us,
donkeys and
Gray,
talking
if it's
donkeys and
bullshit
talking
or not.
snakes and all that. That's just you've got to be raised in that to believe that stuff. If you ask me, but anyway,
Well,
has anyone got?
I was raised in it, so. And then
Yeah, but you
you,
can't.
you die and come back, and then my Peter Potamus salt shaker
I'll
starts
let you go
talking to
first.
me.
If you could
It's
warn me,
me,
Bill. If you go
Gray.
first
It's me,
and let me
Gray.
know,
Help me!
I'd have to
Help
change my
me!
ways
Help
then.
me!
If you can visit me through an animation in my dreams and like let me know the reality, and I can change my ways if need be.
And then
Hopefully,
Kyle comes back. Of course, it's So the monkey salt shaker, and it's
so.
like, Bill, back in the war. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry, Kyle. I was just joking.
Anyone
That's my
anyone got any
job.
comics they want to show off?
So, hey, show us your DOD cartoon of PFC penile wart.
Sadly, I never did any medical videos, but I did do. Well, I did do one where I had a character called Backman and Ribbon, and your back is is the hero, and I'm
Okay.
Backman, and Ribbon is like sticking out of his side and going, "Hey, what about me?" It was
So
really
was
bad.
that
It
an
was really
instructional
bad.
video on how to carry heavy
That was
objects?
for shops for shops within the mechanical shops within the military, and that was real fun. People thought I
Right.
was crazy. I mean, I am crazy, but that kind of validated it. But so how are all you guys? Good, bad, ugly?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Mark
Been
doesn't know
fixing
what
a
to
few
do
comic
with
books.
himself now that he's been home for 2 weeks in a row.
I know.
You know.
I've been fixing up a few comics, and I put it to the tape on it, and a couple of times I've broken 2 staples this week. I've broken 2 staples. I'm trying to fix up a book, so I've taken staples out of books with no covers and used them instead. And I don't care; they're together. But it's kind of like what I don't know if it's worth doing because like amount of comics I've got. Will I ever open that comic again and look at it? You know what I mean? So I suppose I'm preserving them slightly for future generations. Maybe I don't know, but
Well,
it's kind of like, is it worth the effort of doing it? But I kind of like doing it anyway. So
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
well, I thank God I didn't piss him off for some reason because I think he's grateful how much we've been doing lately at the store. But I dropped the Hulk #1 and broke the slab the other day.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, so that was
Well, that's
that.
only like what, a
Unfortunate.
$40 replacement, so that's not bad.
yeah.
Well, I don't. Well, but the problem is it's a 3, and if you submit it for that, you run the risk of it coming back lower.
Right.
It
That's what
won't.
they tell me. I don't know.
And unless that slab is demolished, it's not going to change grades.
No, it shouldn't. But
They're probably not even going to change the label. They're just going to recase it.
yeah, well, I hope not. But we probably will
Could it
resubmit it. But
yeah,
could it
that
that's
was
a
about.
benefit
$30
from a
fix.
pressing?
But
Would it?
we have
Is it
done.
possible
We
if
have
you
done
pressed
like.
it, would it get a better grade?
Huh?
If you gave it a press, would it possibly come back as a better grade?
Probably not, because there's tape tear on the front cover, and it's pretty massive.
Right.
And that's sad when it's a book that big. That's about, well, Phil paid 13,000 for it. We're asking 15,000. I mean, it's a book that's probably not ever going to go down in value.
Yeah,
I mean,
what I do, Bill, is wait until they do a Hulk custom label, and then get a new Hulk custom label on it.
Oh, that's not a bad idea. I like that.
I think they actually have those.
Yep, lots of people do.
Eric and Boyd, yeah, I do too. But yeah, exactly. What do we know? If we all thought logically, we'd all be
Robots.
we'd all be
We'll all
agnostic.
be Klingons. No,
We'd
not
all be
Klingons. Vulcans.
we'd all be agnostic, right? I mean,
Vulcans.
Klingons, yeah.
Here I come,
That
you
comes
sexy
from.
thing.
For the honor of Kal-El. I killed Kal-El.
Are you doing your Klingon or your?
Yeah,
That was what that
my
was.
Klingon.
That was Klingon. I think it was the Vulcans who were logical.
Yeah, I said that afterwards. Yeah, I said Klingons first of all.
Well, yeah. Vulcans probably don't believe in anything.
No, unless they've seen the evidence for it, they wouldn't.
Sheldon doesn't believe in anything. In Big Bang, have you guys ever watched Big Bang Theory over there across the pond?
Yeah, I like Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, I've watched it a few times.
It's pretty funny.
I thought so.
And the spin-offs are pretty good too, actually. And there's about to be a third. There's about to be a third one. A third spin-off about Stewart's comic book store, which that interests all of us, I'm sure.
That's pretty interesting. Will some of the characters from the other show turn up as
Stewart will be there and his girlfriend, and the big goofy guy, I can't remember his name, with the glasses.
The professor guy. He's quite funny.
The geologist.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Brian Posehn.
Yeah, Brian Posehn. He's going to be in it. And there's one other person from the guy who has the lisp.
Oh, the nasty guy.
Yeah, that's their boss.
Yeah.
Kripke.
Yeah, he's going to be in it also. I don't know how you bring all those characters together, but, I'm sure they'll figure something out.
Well, and they've pretty much had a full-on reunion of the entire cast, short of Galecki and Parsons on Night Court, too.
Yeah, they might as well have, right? Yeah, and the guy, I can't think of his name, the Simon
Helberg.
Yeah,
Helberg.
He's in one of the episodes of this season of Poker Face, which if you guys can't see Poker Face over in the GB, I would say you should try to find a way because
I found it. I've watched it, Bill. I like it.
Do you like it? Isn't it great?
What's it about?
Yeah.
Well, so for the first 20 minutes of the hour, you don't see the protagonist, Charlie. You see what happened prior.
It's like Columbo.
It is Columbo. No, it's 100% Columbo. They did that on purpose, and if you notice, even the lettering and the pacing, it's all exactly the same as Columbo.
Yeah,
that's
so
what they wanted.
The story structure is structured like Columbo.
Exactly.
Is it a woman with with red hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on Now TV. I was literally just watching Now TV.
I have to say,
so I can watch it.
She looks pretty damn good for 46, and she plays a character that's probably in her late 20s, but she pulls it off. She does a great job. She's been a very high profile actress for at least 25 years.
Who?
Well,
Natasha Lyonne.
What else has she done?
Yeah.
And it's a great show. I'm trying to remember, there was a great episode the other day about this these two cops that are always competing for best cop award every year in Florida, and this one cop has adopted an alligator and grown him from a baby, and he's like his pet practically, but his tagline is "Gator done" instead of "Get her done," and he's obnoxious, and he gets killed when this girl rubs cocaine in the nostrils of the alligator, and his competition. It's great, and I won't say any
Cocaine
more than that,
gator.
but it's hilarious, and it's a really really good. It's very comedic though. It's more comedic than Columbo was.
Oh yeah, it's more comedy.
Yeah, but
Right.
it all works, and the stories are great.
No,
It's
well,
well done.
I watched season 1. I did enjoy it.
So
It's like a
season two
detective
has
crime
about
thing, basically.
season
Comedy
two has
crime.
5 or 6 episodes now, and it's great. It's really good.
Am I
So
watching the
there's
second
that.
season of The Last of Us?
No,
Last
it's
of
got
Us.
appalling reviews. I gave it. It's really bad reviews, saying it's gone. It was done during peak woke, and it's got
Well,
dreadful reviews.
all those people that bitch about everything being woke these days are probably people that need to be woke. So,
Yeah.
but I will
I
tell you
don't.
this, that
It's
she
got a
and Bobby
lesbian
Brown,
relationship in it, but
Millie Bobby
I don't know.
Brown, they both are such like uh camera hogs. It's like I think they piss people off, and I think, and of course, Pedro Pascal is in fucking everything these days.
He's
So
not in The Last of Us anymore.
yeah, he is, isn't he?
No, they won't. No, he's get killed.
What?
Well, it
I didn't
follows
even
the
know
game,
that.
doesn't it? He dies. He dies in the game, so it makes sense they're going to kill him off
Yeah,
in
he
the
dies in the
series.
game, and they killed him. And that's part of why people I don't like season 2.
Oh
Yeah,
well, I didn't know that. Well, there you
And
have it.
here's another funny
I think
thing.
he doesn't
That
seem particularly
backdrop
woke to me. Other than the fact
that
it's got a
backdrop
lesbian
I changed
relationship
that
in
you
it.
commented about is from the season 2 of The Last of Us.
Sorry.
What backdrop?
That silly backdrop with the butterfly that looks kind of crazy that I put in the group
Oh,
chat. That's
okay.
actually The Last of Us season 2 picture.
Oh wow, the one with Easter Island dude on it.
Well, I changed that for the
Oh okay.
thing
I
because it
wonder where
was a
the Easter
mushroom.
Island guy came from.
It was a mushroom, but I changed it to the Easter Island guy.
Cheers.
Like a butterfly.
Cheers, Bill.
No,
Cheers, Mark.
the little emoji icon you can hit with it is the one I changed. It's like a butterfly on the main picture, and then the emoji you can hit with it that was the whale before was a mushroom, and I changed that to the Easter
Okay, I
Island
didn't
thing.
even notice it, to be honest.
Okay, so
I saw it had been
I'm
changed. Couldn't work out what it was.
so there's something in Mexican culture that, and I'm not sure why they do this, but they make their gingerbread cookies in the shape of pigs.
Okay.
And so we've been getting a lot of food, of course, because my father-in-law died. Everybody's bringing us food. And
Right.
look at this beaut. Isn't that the most delicious pig you've ever seen?
It's
I mean, I'm
interesting
just
to eat
saying,
it.
It's a
it's
pot-bellied
great.
pig.
It's just a gingerbread cookie, but for
Mm.
some reason at every Mexican bakery they're in the shape of pigs, and I've never figured that out.
I got to tell you, that looks fucking delicious.
It is fucking delicious, and
That is
it,
a deep dark color on that just it looks so good.
yeah, and it will be, and so we also got a pan this big of dirty rice. I don't know if you guys have ever had Cajun food, but dirty rice it's just really, I don't know how to even describe it except it's rice and meat, and you've had it, right, Kyle?
Oh yeah,
It's delicious.
and bell
So
peppers.
yeah, and I want to show you one
Spicy
more
then.
thing. This is the weirdest thing of all. So someone sent us this huge, beautiful plant for sympathy, for Blanca losing her dad. I taped this. I
Okay.
taped this one just because it was almost broken. So I'll take the tape off when it blooms. But here's the weird thing: we can't, for the life of us, figure out who the hell sent it, and
Well,
they don't have the information at the florist. which kind of freaks me out.
It's a hosta and it grows like ivy. So if you plant it away from your house.
No. It's an anthurium.
So
It's a
you're gonna
white
keep it
flag
in.
anthurium.
You're not gonna transplant it.
I'm not going to plant. No,
No, we've
I'm
got
taking
one of
this
those.
thing.
We've got one of those about the same size in a pot. Yeah, I quite like them.
I do too. Well, I grew up in Hawaii, and Blanc and I plan on retiring in Hawaii. We have friends in Hawaii, but none of our friends in Hawaii apparently sent it to us. So I'm kind of freaked out. And it's in this very, very Hawaiian planter.
Or was there not packaging with it?
No, it was just
Did you
on the
call
door.
it
It was on the
Seymour?
doorstep like this.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's
that
not
would have
unlike
been a local.
from
That would
Hawaii,
have
then,
somebody
surely.
ordered it and it was a local delivery, or somebody just drove it over and dropped it off.
No, it came from a florist, but the florist said the order came from another florist somewhere else, and they didn't have that information.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah,
So
that's how florists
just
work.
kind of strange,
Name it Seymour. Feed it blood.
I will just for you, Kyle, just for you. But I'm gonna have to take this tape off sometime. But so there you have it. That's so my mother-in-law is going through a lot. Of course, she's married to my father-in-law for 63 years.
Yeah.
So
Oh, that's sad.
One stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and that's why the brother I have a brother-in-law who's my age. So and I just turned 62 last week. So, I don't feel my age though. I mean I should, but I don't. Mark, you don't feel your age, do you?
Yes.
Do you?
I don't
I
feel
mean,
my
there's
age.
some
I
days
feel
where it's
older.
hard to get out of bed, but
I'm a bit
yeah.
creaky in the knees, Bill.
Right. Well, me too. Me too. I
I
have
feel
bad knees.
102, so I'm not even going to touch that one.
I feel about 70, I think.
Bill, put it this way: I have to employ Gray to carry stuff for me.
Mm,
Yeah, what does that tell you? That means you're desperate.
yeah.
But not
Right.
serious. His kisses drive him delirious.
That's right. That's right. I don't know why you said that,
What
but
are you
yes,
talking
I
about,
agree.
It's an
silly
Adamant
boy?
lyric. I was quoting
Okay.
Adamant.
I don't know what that had to do with the conversation we were having, but
He said, that's how desperate I am. Desperate, but not serious.
All I can say is goody two, goody two, goody goody two shoes. Goody two, goody two, goody goody two shoes. You don't drink, don't smoke. What do you do?
Subtle
Sudden
innuendos
innuendos
follow.
follow.
hang out with
Must be
weirdos on the
something
internet. That's
inside.
what I do.
Be something inside.
What do you do,
We have,
Gray?
what's that?
Hmm?
What
What'd
do
you
you
say?
do, Gray?
I hang out with weirdos on the internet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a vice.
Pretty much.
I
You bought
will
any
never
new
say
comics this
anything
week,
bad about
Bill?
Adamant, though.
Huh?
No, it's
I
good.
will never say anything bad about Adamant, though.
His songs are cool.
I got some new comics. Let me go grab them.
Go grab some
Yeah.
comics.
Let's have a look, Bill.
Yeah, I will
Yeah.
never
You got
have
anything
bad
new, Mark?
memories about Adamant because in the second row of an Adamant concert, I had sex mid-show, sitting in the
Oh, yes.
crowd.
I think you have mentioned that once or twice.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You ruined a perfectly good gig for about 3 rows of people.
Oh my god!
How unkind of you.
It was so cool. I was an uber fucking nerd, and I didn't care. I was the king of the world that day. That was my Leo DiCaprio moment.
Dear me. Deary,
Leo
deary me.
DiCaprio
Been
denies
arrested.
everything. Kyle says he wasn't there.
Do what?
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio says he wasn't there, Kyle. He denies
There you go.
everything.
Yeah.
No, but except for the girl that was with us, that was sitting next to us, that knew what the hell was going on, nobody around even noticed.
Ah, that's a
She
shame.
just hiked up her skirt and did everybody's going to Dallas on me, and I was like, "Yay! I'm having sex at concert."
Fair enough.
So These are some that I've had since I got the collection, but I don't think I've ever shown them to you guys. So
Nice Blue Beetle. The
this is
first
the
question.
Blue Beetle number
First,
1.
is it the first question? I think it
First
is.
question, yes.
There he is. Yeah.
Who is the question?
Who is?
That is
That's the question.
What is
the
the
question? Is
question?
Vic Sage? Vic Sage is the
And then
question.
this, I believe this is issue number 2.
Oh, I like that. Some great covers on these Charlton covers.
I know.
What are those, like 1963?
67.
60? I thought those came earlier than that.
No, they came after he left Spider-Man and went back to Charlton full time.
Oh.
Yeah. Then there's
Because Blue Beetle came around in, like, what,
Hey.
62?
what's that?
Blue Beetle first appeared in, like, what, 62? That Blue Beetle, Ted Kord.
No. That Blue Beetle appeared right around 67. You're thinking of Captain Atom.
No, he appeared in
You're
Captain
right.
Atom.
You're right. That's
Yeah.
exactly
Blue
what I'm
Beetle
doing.
first appeared in Captain Atom as well.
But it was a
correct.
late
the
issue.
Silver Age version.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
original one
It was a late issue of
Fox?
Captain Atom. But you're right. That is exactly what I'm doing, is thinking of Captain Atom.
Yeah, and the very first Blue Beetle series was Fox Comics.
Yeah, that's going.
And Charlton bought out Fox.
There is an early, like a Dan Garrett run of Blue Beetle that I'm trying to pick up. I never really see him around.
Nice. That's piracy number 1, isn't it?
It is piracy number 3.
This is piracy number 2.
Those are nice.
Oh, I don't know. Piracy number 1's red. I ought to know that. I traded it away.
Yeah. And, you know, these are, well, this is the last. Oh, no, these piracies are actually pre-code. I didn't realize that. I thought these were post-code, but they're not.
Yeah.
But the Aces High is post-code.
Yeah. Well, look at that huge Comic Code Authority box.
I know, it's huge.
That's a sort of, that was 1956 when they had those huge.
Exactly. Yeah, early 56. You're absolutely right. And this is a George Evans cover, by the way.
That's a great cover.
He was fantastic. And
I still got that George Evans signed lithograph upstairs for the first one that wants it.
You know who that is?
Price on it.
Can you guess?
Let's have a look. It's vaguely like what's his name? The guy did a bit of Flash Gordon. Al Williamson.
No, it's Reed Crandall.
Okay. Oh, I'd have said Johnny Craig, so I wasn't even close.
And this one,
Reed Crandall always sounds like it's an alter ego for a superhero to me.
I know.
It sounds like the Shadow's coming like Reed.
This is also Crandall.
Yeah, the only Crandall I've got anymore is Buster Brown 36.
I did get some Buster Browns in the collection.
36 is the only Crandall. 36 is one of the odd ones that's actually valuable other than the single-digit issues.
Yeah.
But Crandall did issue 36.
No,
I had a decent collection of Crandall, but it's all gone.
Weren't Buster Brown, weren't they giveaways?
Yeah.
At the shoe store? They still have a price on them, but I don't think they ever.
No, I've never seen one with a price on it.
Really?
They'll put stickers on it.
Okay.
They don't put prices on it, but they'll put stickers on them to resell them. But
yeah,
no, they were just shoe store giveaways.
And they employed some of the best people in the business.
Oh yeah.
But
oh yeah.
You know, there you have it.
Did your auction pulps come yet, Mark?
No, I bloody rang him up yesterday and said, because it's 2 weeks ago, and I said, where are they? And he said, oh, I'm going to post them this week.
Oh, right, no rush.
What are you waiting for?
That's nothing like top service, eh? And that is nothing like top service.
I said, wait. He said, oh, was that the auction on the 15th? I said, yes. It's now the 28th or something. So he says, oh, I should get those in the post this week. Great.
You know who's
How
really
often do they do
really
auctions?
quick
That
about
place?
shipping is Heritage.
How often do they do auctions? The place that you just bought
Not
them
that
from?
often. I checked up
Oh,
on them.
right,
I think
okay.
it's a one-man band. I think it's a man in a room in London somewhere.
Right. Okay.
It's not a big auction. It wasn't. I've never heard of them before.
Right.
They don't run many auctions, so yeah.
As long as they're actually
Oh,
a real auction
Well,
place.
your
No,
first clue should have
I did
been.
get a
Kind of
bit
your
worried
cash.
when the first number I rang off the website was disconnected. I thought, oh shit.
Oh gosh.
Oh
Oh
God.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, you should have known when it was just called Bob's Auction. You
Yeah.
know.
Where is it in London then?
It's fairly central London, but he was obviously a room above a shop or something.
Hmm.
It's Piccadilly Circus.
Ancient Mariner Auctions, it was called.
Really?
Auction. That doesn't sound weird at all.
Any connection to Coleridge?
Well, I suspect so.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting on a parcel from Sarajevo that's been about a month, but it
What
said
have you
don't
ordered?
expect it till the middle of April.
Some kind of memorabilia or something, or
Yeah,
what, Chaplin
yeah,
or
just historical stuff.
Litchy
Hmm.
Lich.
not Chaplin?
No. Now I have
Chaplin.
gotten something Chaplin from Sarajevo before though.
Nothing from Eddie Redmayne either.
No. I still
Chaplin.
don't see that. You say that every time and I still don't see it. His
I
face
do.
is too
They
angular.
look identical. They fucking look identical. They just do. They just do. I mean, they do. You look at pictures of them. They look freaking identical.
Well,
Chaplin
Eddie
and
Redmayne's
Eddie.
more
send 2 pictures
angular
to the
like
chat,
Benedict
Bill.
Cumberbatch. Chaplin looks more like Robert Downey Jr. That's why they cast
Oh
him.
no, he doesn't. He
Yeah,
does.
that's
They
what he
don't
looked
look
like when he was
They
younger. He
don't
had chubby
fucking look
cheeks. When he got
anything
older, he
alike.
had chubby cheeks. But
No,
he's
get
not
out of
angular.
here. They don't look anything alike. Your meds are making you crazy.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
My
I
meds
take
are making
meds
me
so I
crazy
don't
too.
be crazy, but they make me crazy.
So,
Yeah,
Mark,
enough
you got
enough to
anything
report.
for us?
No, I've sort of backed off from comics for a bit.
On a lull.
Yeah, I got a bit. So the Whatnot thing has died basically. There's nobody's paying any sensible prices for comics on Whatnot, so
Really?
backed off that.
Funny how it's up and down so quick, isn't it?
Sorry.
It's funny how it's up and down so quickly.
Yeah,
A little while ago, you were doing good
yeah, I did
business.
really well with the vintage stuff. So initially, I did really well with the modern stuff. That then went because
Yeah.
the big boys started selling it at silly prices. Then the vintage stuff worked very well, and now I think the market's just oversaturated. I think the buyers have got so much choice, and people are selling comics too cheap.
We had a big we had a Memorial Day sale over the weekend, and you know, it went okay. You know, I sold 1,200. I made a $1,200 sale before the sale started. With a friend of mine came in and bought a Conan #1 and bought that Cowgirl Romances we've had for a couple months.
Nice.
And and so we made 12. So we had 1,200 going into it in the first place. I think we ended with about 2,500 for the week, which isn't bad. And we've made almost 7,000 for the month. So we're not doing bad. It's actually probably our best month ever.
That Cowgirl Romances, that's all Matt Baker, isn't it?
You know, I don't know if this one was Baker or not. It didn't look as polished, but it could have been.
I thought that was just a one-off anyway. There's multiple issues of it?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I think there's like maybe 10. I mean, it becomes something else like they all did back then because of the postal laws. But yeah, I think it was a solid at least 10 issues, something like that. Are you tired,
pretty sure
Mark?
that's Matt Baker.
Or did I say something that made you laugh and you
No,
wanted to be polite?
It's fine. No, just put my hand on my mouth to bite my hand.
Oh, okay.
Well,
You know,
that's what's really convenient about having beards, you know.
yeah.
And why carry a handkerchief? You know, I mean, when a hand is enough. Wow,
Are you
that sounded
doing the June
really brilliant.
March?
Yes, I am going to do the London Comic Mart in June.
Oh, have you booked it yet? Have you
No,
booked it yet?
no, I
Because
haven't.
I just I forgot I was supposed to bloody well tell you when I was there for the last March. The lady said get in quick with bookings because she reckon it's filling up quickly or
Oh, right.
something.
I better try. I'll try and do it tomorrow.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
Is the Comic Mart? Is it pretty? Has it been going on for a long time?
Ages.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. I didn't know about it till fairly recently, but
I'll have to when Blanca and I come to visit you guys. I'll have to plan it within a time where there's going to be a Comic Mart.
Yeah.
are you planning to come to England
Yeah,
soon?
you know, the one big obstacle for us traveling is no longer an obstacle. So I hate to say it like
Oh,
that, but
I get your drift. Yeah,
yeah. So
that's bad.
you know, he went very peacefully. Um, that's really what we'd always wanted anyway. You
Yeah,
know, and my mother-in-law is still adapting, but you know,
it's gonna be hard
it,
for her, isn't it?
after 63 years,
Right.
yeah,
Keep on
yeah.
chatting. I was going to show what I've been reading lately. That's all.
Oh,
This is
that's a
my
good.
read
Oh,
pile.
that is the most hilarious cover out of the whole run.
It's
That's a great. I love that cover.
yeah, it's dark. This is a really cool
Duke.
cover. I really like this cover as well.
Yeah, that's a good
What's
one.
that
Nightmare
character's
Express.
name? The one we
Zook.
just saw.
Zook.
What?
Zook.
Zook?
A little fella.
Yeah.
It's Zook.
Yeah,
It's Zook.
Zook's been turned into a
Yeah, it's
destructive
Zook.
giant.
It's Zook.
Zook.
Do. Yeah, they just announced Zook was going to be in the new Superman movie. I'm kidding.
It's a Zook suit riot.
It's a Zook suit riot. Oh, I love that one.
That's
That has
nice.
to
I
be
think
that
I
has
think
to
that's
be
one of the ones
Wrightson,
I'm
right?
missing.
Oh no, it's
Yeah,
not.
that's
No, I
No,
have
it's
got
right.
that one.
Wrightson
That's Wrightson.
all
You
day
could-
long.
You could tell that a mile away.
Yep. Oh.
And who colored the Batman in?
This is from completely fucked. This is the next one I'm going to work on. I'm going to put I'm going to use up a fair
That
bit
is
of
a
tape.
completely
putting this back
fucked
together.
grey man pile.
Yeah, that was in the Grey Man's like range.
That's not a
Grey Man
ex-girlfriend
special.
variant?
You've been reading these ones.
Yeah, these all been read while I've been Lisa's and my dad's last week. So these have all been read. I've got a few.
That's one of my
ones here.
favourite House and Secret covers.
Yeah, I remember you saying, yeah.
Isn't that Jeff Jones?
I don't know who it is,
Not
actually.
sure. It seems out of like it looks like more modern. So this one is later in the run, and this looks like an old. I don't know somehow.
Look up the issue. What issue number is that? I bet that's Jones.
I don't
This
think
is
it
105.
is.
105
I
House
don't
of Secrets.
think it is. It's one of the. It's Redondo or somebody like that.
Yeah, it's a Filipino artist.
Oh, okay.
Could be. I can't see a name on it.
Albedo, maybe.
It's not Nino.
Eclipso and Prince Rahman.
You know, Nino's still drawing.
Nino opened the door for all of them. He has a
Revolt
reverence
of the
from all those
Morlu.
guys that is just.
Well,
They just absolutely worship him.
I think he was the most talented of them all.
I haven't read these ones this week. This is just from Cover Slingers. Last week's
Got a
Cover
signed
Slingers.
Nino portfolio upstairs too.
This one was a recent read. Ghost Stories.
Oh, I haven't got that one.
Save that for Mark.
Oh, that one.
That's a good one.
Is there a are there numbers up under the W there?
On some of them.
Yeah, but not normal issue numbers. Up in the
That's
corner.
what I'm saying. The numbers under that means that's a 50 center, so that's a 1980 pre-bag.
Says 60
yeah,
there.
that's one of the limited. That's a hard to come by book right there.
This
that's
one I got from Mark
recently.
recently.
Right there.
Yeah, that's a great
one of the ones you. I got a
And
few
that's
from
a good
Richie.
I won a slinger with that, thanks to you.
Yeah, that was a good story. I thought it was cool.
So that one must be right before they went to King, right? Mark,
Yeah.
I've needed that issue for so damn long.
the Phantom 1 King is one of the hardest ones to find.
Yeah.
The easiest is Flash Gordon.
That Grimm's Ghost Stories, other than issue 1, that's the most expensive one of the lot.
Was it
Why?
$2?
That was right before they went out of business. That's like there was pre-packed. It was the distribution was like a quarter of what it was before they went out.
The shit aeroplane.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can always tell that if they're 50 cents and it's got the W and it's got that run of numbers underneath the W, those were the pre-packs.
Cover.
Yeah. Do you know the name of Mark Merlin's cat?
I don't know the name of Mark Merlin's cat.
There you go. His girlfriend's saying it there. Mimakata.
Mimakata, what a great name.
So
And he's able. What he does, he goes like a little jewel, and he looks. The light flashes into his eyes from the jewel and into the cat's eyes, and he's able to inhabit the cat's body and go on like spying missions and stuff.
Brilliant.
So Mimakat is like an ongoing character. So I can't say I've read a lot of Mark Merlin, so it's like kind of new information to me.
so you know they're going to start bringing back. That's great. They're going to start.
This character returns. Morlu returns a few
appearance
times.
of Eclipso, and
So
my copy of that got lost in the mail going to Canada.
So they're going to. Did you know that
first Eclipso?
They're bringing back blimps again? Except this time they're going to be filled with helium, which isn't flammable, supposedly.
Yeah.
And so the first time when the Hindenburg blew up, you of course got the humanity. Now if one of the helium ones blow up, you're gonna get the humanity. Sorry, that's a bad joke.
Yeah,
but
not the hilarity.
I sent my copy of House of Secrets 67 down to Roscoe down in
Anytime
Florida.
I can make Mark laugh is a victory for me.
I
knew that was coming. I knew when you said helium, we were going to get a Donald Duck joke.
And Roscoe was mailing it up to TM up in Canada, and it got lost in the post.
That's sad.
Lost in the post.
It had autographs in it and all kind of stuff. I made TM a nice big package and autograph stuff, and it had a nice copy of that House of Secrets 67 in it.
Damn it.
Because he loves Eclipso, and that's like his 6th appearance. So, and I sent it up to him, and I sent it down to Roscoe, and Roscoe was packing a package to him. So
when the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie, that's Eclipso.
I had Jay and Silent Bob stuff.
That almost works that properly as well, Bill. That one.
Yeah, it did.
I know. That's what I was
kind of
thinking.
does when the moon hits his
mind.
that actually works.
And it fitted in with the eye thing with the cat.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh dear. That 90. Have you ever read the 90s run of Eclipso? That was very, very dark. That was. It was proper like Eclipso being pure evil.
Yeah.
Sorry.
He's quite nasty in that, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's very nasty.
The second season of Stargirl, they basically used that version of the character, and they basically have to kill him, and they do, but they changed a lot. They took a lot of liberties. Yeah.
You know, every superhero story does. When is that Fantastic Four coming out? Is that coming out soon?
It's coming out the week of Comic-Con, so 4th week of July.
Okay.
When's the Superman movie coming out?
2 weeks earlier. Yeah, and they're going to do this thing in the States. I don't know if they're doing it in San Antonio. They haven't announced yet, but Amazon members are going to get a chance to see it 4 days earlier.
Okay.
And I don't know if they're charging with free or what.
I get a feeling all the new superheroes are on a bit of a hiding to nothing. Everyone's really ready to sort of jump on them and like slag them off, like rather than give them a chance. It seems to me. I've already seen like posts of stuff, saying Fantastic Four is going to be a flop. People like
Well,
to.
these idiots are saying that Thunderbolts was a flop and it's already
Yeah,
made
I heard that. I
over
saw that.
300 million. I mean, I find that very hard to qualify as a. I mean, I know they spend a lot of money on these things, but still, that's just
Yeah.
kind of ridiculous. And I enjoyed Thunderbolts. I'd say go see it. Honestly, I thought it was great.
Yep.
Mm.
And I didn't know a lot about
I've not seen
Sentry.
it yet.
I didn't know about a lot about Sentry, but I really like Bob as a character. Bob's a good character.
I'll tell you what, that spiked your John Romita autograph there, Mark.
Sorry.
Having Sentry come into the MCU, that'll spike your John Romita autograph.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, certainly.
Why? What did Romita have to do with Sentry?
Romita Jr. and Senior worked on the original series.
Oh, I did not know that.
The series 2, if you will, because like the Age of Sentry that introduced him with Paul Jenkins and stuff, and then when they did the actual running series of it, the first issue was done by the Romitas.
Wow!
I had a copy of that signed by John Romita Sr. and I shipped it over to Mark.
We had flooding last night, guys.
You had what?
Yeah, we got 4 inches in 2 hours.
Oh, is that your rainfall for the next 5 years?
Well, it's weird because of climate change. We're getting all sorts of rain and stuff now, and and then it's still like 100 degrees.
Hey, Bill.
Yeah.
I got to ask you an honest question.
Yes.
Isn't Blanca used to that?
What?
Getting 4 inches in 2 hours?
No, she's used to 8 and 15 minutes, or in 5 minutes. No,
so crude.
But very crude. God. But
you can't go for 2 hours. What are you talking about?
No, but it was weird. Well, it was weird. I woke up and it was just pouring like crazy. And we have a steel roof, but it's not loud because they have things in there. In fact, it's less loud than it was when we had shingles. But Blanca slept through the entire thing because she's so exhausted, from having to do so much with her mom.
Well, that's why I tried to throw a really light curveball right there.
What's that, Mark?
I've been inoculated against shingles.
Oh yes, I need to get that too. Guys of a certain age, I think we all qualify.
Shingles. I had shingles a couple of years ago. Quite painful it was.
Sorry.
Yeah. You can get inoculated.
That rash around me, nipple, around my chest. Like a rash, innit? Can I get a rash? It's kind of weird. It's like a circle around your body, or
it can appear anywhere. It can appear anywhere. You can get it around the eyes. You can get it.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Once you get about our age, you go to your doctor, and your doctor, like my last visit.
It's like a measles throwback or something like that, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah. It's
sadly. And it's rampant here in Texas because we've got so many dumbasses that don't get their kids vaccinated.
Oh God, yeah. How is that? You got like a bit measles thinking.
Now we got fucking Kennedy running the whole show, and he's anti-vax. That's
oh God.
Oh my God, that guy is freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Well, they should all drink pasteurized, non-pasteurized milk.
Even Caroline came out against him. Did you know that, Kyle?
Take a swim in a
Caroline Kennedy came out against him, her own cousin.
Well, yeah, they all think
he's a sadist. He loves killing animals.
It's
nuts. Very strange.
He's batshit crazy.
Yeah, and he's the evil Kennedy. Most of the Kennedys are pretty sweet people, but
he's not the only one who likes killing animals, though, is he? He's not the only one.
It's an American pastime.
Killed their dog. The one who killed it, Kirsty Noem, was that? Killed her dog, killed the goat or something?
Yeah, she's an idiot.
Something like
that. Yeah. She
lovely bunch.
And she's getting in all sorts of trouble right now because she said habeas corpus was a power that only the president has. And no,
she have a fucking clue,
I'm sorry, you're completely fucking wrong. That wasn't that hilarious, Kyle? And then
it's all getting too sick to be hilarious.
Tears. She goes, just because I don't know everything doesn't mean I can't run a
Yeah.
department.
Well,
It's
that's
like,
ridiculous.
Yeah, it basically
And
does.
he keeps pardoning all these people. They pay $1 million to go to one of his things to meet with him, and then he pardons them.
Yeah.
Who was
Yeah.
the woman that he put in charge of some sort of science and technology department who read an entire speech?
No,
and she kept
that was the
referring-
education. That was
the education woman.
Stephanie
She
McMahon.
kept
No,
referring
not
McMahon.
Stephanie McMahon.
She kept referring to
Mr.
AI as Al.
Yeah.
No.
A1.
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 A1. Yeah. She thought
Something McMahon. I can't remember
she
her
goes,
surname. Her
I
first
don't
name.
understand why steak sauce is so important these days, but I'm behind it 100%.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say, Linda McMahon.
Surely she never wrote that speech. Someone must have written it for her, and you think they would have, given a heads up on, how to say it.
One of their former wrestlers wrote it for her,
Yeah.
Ric
Too many
Flair.
chefs, not
That's
the
why
eggs.
she kept saying "woo" during the middle of it. She go, "We're gonna make this department great again." Woo!
Hey,
But-
since
Yeah.
everybody's cool with
Right,
it,
yeah.
running.
if any
She's
of
there
you
to
guys
get
want to
rid
give
of
me
the
a $400
department.
million plane, yeah, I won't owe you anything. Just give me a $400 million plane and we're good. Slate's clean.
Mm.
You know what everybody's hoping for, and I shouldn't say this probably out loud, but everyone's hoping they put a bomb on it. But hey,
No, you don't say anything, Bill. You the way the climate is now. They check your social
Yeah.
media, mate, and have you in a camp.
Mr. Field?
Next week,
Mr.
you'll suddenly
Field?
be unfindable. Nobody will have heard
Yeah.
of you. You will have suddenly been
You know
disappeared.
what?
Live next week from Ecuador or wherever it is.
To every one of them, they can sit and spin on these to every one of them. Even though I should be legitimately worried. Hell, back in the 90s, I had the dumbest thing happen. I'm sitting at a work desk. I'm working in a returns department. And I get this link about somebody who's in the IRA. And I look into it because I'm distantly related to somebody that was involved in something by like seventh cousins. It's just stupid distant. But I pulled it up and I looked into this particular story. And the next afternoon, on a Saturday afternoon, I had two feds knocking on my door going, "Why are you looking into the IRA?"
Oh, gosh.
I was like, "Get the fuck out of here." I was like, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "If you saw that message and you saw what I said, I got this link that said, 'Hey, were you related to this person?'" I said, "Possibly at a great distance, but it really has nothing to do with me. But curiosity had me read the story. And because I read the story, and I'm like, dude, you have the transcript of what happened there." I was like, "I don't know this person. There's a bloodline connection that's way the fuck off." But two feds showed up at my door. They said, "Why are you looking into the IRA?" And I'm like, "Hey, I'm good. I ain't looking into the IRA. I just looked up this one story."
Mm.
it's kind of weird. Well, I blame that Predator software.
Hell, that was actually I was 99, 2000. It's 2000. It was pre 9/11.
So it's pre-Predator.
So it kind of surprised me all around. But yeah, it was pre 9/11. So
Wow.
like the spring of 2000.
Wow. Long ass
But
time
yeah,
ago.
the two feds showed up at my door because I looked at an article and like researched from that article. I was like, God damn.
They're probably watching you already, Carl.
Oh yeah.
Well, I was on a business computer or whatever. They said that
You're on the
an
list,
international
probably.
corporation.
Kyle is definitely on the list.
Yeah, he's on a couple of lists, I bet.
I reckon he's on 2 or 3 lists.
Yeah. From different
I don't-
departments.
I could give 2 fucks if I'm on any list anymore. If this cabinet has me on a list, they can sit and fucking spin. I am not
That's
even
funny,
remotely
dude.
worried about any
Careful,
of them.
Bill, careful. Those tendrils move towards you.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I'm in the Seeds of Doom episode of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
The Crimwell or whatever they called that thing.
Going back to your
You know which one
TV
I'm talking
program.
about, Mark? The one with the Fourth Doctor where they go to
Yeah.
Antarctic and
Yeah,
those
yeah.
guys blow the place up. And the guy looks like
Cool.
Teller from Penn and Teller, the villain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, it's so funny. He winds up being Mulch himself, which I loved.
One of the funniest dudes ever. You rarely hear him talk. Now he talks all the time. Now that he's been on Big Bang.
Is
Call
Teller.
back to that one. Yeah.
Yeah. You know those guys are almost 80? I couldn't believe
Yeah.
that.
Well,
Blimey.
he did one of the funniest things I've ever seen. That little guy has the best sleight of hand I've ever seen, ever, far and away. And he said the guy that taught him was so much better. We're standing on a street in Vegas, and he walks up behind this guy, and he mimics every step he does, and he plucks his wallet, and he shows it to us walking across the thing, puts it back in his pocket, and turns around and walks away. Couldn't have been 30 feet. And he picked the guy, showed his stuff, put it back in his pocket, and turned back around. The guy never even knew he did it.
That's hilarious.
It was the best. I mean, it was. You
Those
know,
guys are
when
easily
they
two of
take
the
your
best
watch off and do that
magicians of
stuff,
all
that's
time.
neat as hell to see. But he was so smooth about this. He went straight into that guy's step, his
That's
mannerisms.
hilarious.
He caught his wallet, pulled it, showed it, slid it back, and did it all in like just seamless. It's like, holy shit. It's the most incredible sleight of hand I'd ever seen. And he just came back laughing. He's like, I could have taken that guy for everything he had. And people just don't know. You always put your wallet in your front pocket. You never put it in your coat pocket. You never put it in your back pocket. You put it in your front pocket. People can't pick that.
So I gotta ask, since we have two of our best buddies that are British here, why are those damn royal horse videos becoming so popular? Why? Just
What
Royal
because
Horse?
it makes us look so stupid?
What Royal Horse videos?
They have they're on reels all the time on Facebook, and it's the guards on the horse going get back, and it's almost always someone American trying to get a picture at the horse or something, and they step into the square that they're not supposed to, and sometimes if it's a good looking girl they let it slide, but if it's some schlep, or grandma or something, they scare the crap out of them. One time the horse knocked the lady over and she did like a somersault almost. And it's hilarious. But why are people so stupid when they go to Buckingham Palace? It's like, it's just so fucking stupid. I'm sorry. It just drives me crazy. And they show up in my feed every day. I don't mind the Zing Zing videos because I love Zing Zing the monkey. But the
Never heard of him.
Zing Zing, yeah, it's a she, and she has one arm. She lost an arm. One arm was electrocuted or something. She was in a
It
circus
depends
for.
what the algorithm sends your way, Bill, because I've never seen any of this
I've never
monkey.
seen
They
a
must
Zing
be,
Zing
like,
video or a horse
yeah.
parade video.
I have
Oh
seen a
my
couple of
God! Yeah, I
horse,
guess
horse.
that's crazy. Yeah,
If
and
you watch some shorts, Mark, you'll see them. I reckon. If you ever watch any shorts, they pop up randomly, kind of thing.
Do they? Okay.
You know what I keep getting? Something
watching
I've
it.
been getting all the time, and I'm not really interested in it at all. Is like women's basketball. Like
What?
there's some Caitlin Clark, and there's another lady, and they don't get on with each other. And I keep seeing videos of how they don't get on and how
April
they
something.
don't like
Yeah,
each
the
other.
black girl. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
I can't remember her name now.
well, Reese, Angel
Yeah,
Reese is the other
yeah.
girl. Hey, ABZ, how's it going?
I'm just surprised how my feed somehow is packed with it. It's like it keeps popping up.
I also
It's
get
very
those
odd.
Dar Man videos all the time, and those drive me nuts.
Greyman, I think it sees what you type into Pornhub.
There you go.
I'm not interested in tall girls. I don't type in tall girls. I don't type in anything. I mean, I
No,
don't
but
type in anything.
you might
I
have written in something about net and balls.
I watched a
I don't
couple
type
of
anything into those kind of pages. I'll have you know.
Pornhub
I
is
leave that all to
banned, and
Darren.
then of course Darren shows up when we start
Talk
talking about
about
Pornhub.
porn, and Darren shows up.
Pornhub is
Hey.
banned in
timing.
Texas. We
My
can't
ears
even
were
get
burning.
we can't get Pornhub in Texas, Mark.
I
No, it's banned.
Why?
I don't know. Not enough porn with cowboy hats. I don't know. I just don't know. No, not enough. Not enough reverse cowgirl.
Okay, so
Videos.
Debbie can't do Dallas anymore.
Right. Debbie can no longer do Dallas.
Yeah.
Not on Pornhub.
But
However, on X videos, it's fine. I don't know what the difference is, but
I watch a couple of Graham Norton videos or something every once in a while, and all of a sudden now I've got this run of Blue Peter videos that are coming up. Like they just won't stop. That's every time I turn around, there's a Blue Peter video coming up. That one came up the other day. I was like, that's kind of random.
We started talking about Blue Peter a couple weeks ago, and Peter
Yeah.
Purvis. So maybe your phone heard you.
Yes.
It must have.
Heard it. But Peter Purvis is so funny. You see him back in the day, and he's all young and suave looking, and then today it's like Peter Purvis. It's kind of weird, but we all age.
I don't want to go down those storytelling roads, but when I saw that and I actually sat down and watched that video, I was like, holy shit, I've done those two things.
Why did they always have a dog and cat on stage with them on Blue Peter?
Of course, it's for kids. Kids like cats and dogs.
No, I know, but it was just so odd. It's like Trixie doesn't like this one.
Right, Ed.
And
Yeah, good, yeah.
Mute, Gray.
Hey, Gray.
There you go. Yeah, he said, all right, Dad. I'm like, yeah, you don't want us hearing this conversation with his dad. Darren, where the fuck you been? We missed you.
I've been killing orcs, but now I'm back with the dogs. Yay!
Hey, so how are you doing on World of Warcraft right now? You doing pretty good?
Well, right. So it's a game where you have to level from level 1 to level 60, and then you play the game. Now, that takes ages to get to level 60, and then when you get to level 60, then you have to do some other shit to get some gear on your character so you can continue to play the game. So I've done all of that. It took 6-7 weeks to do all of that, and I'm now at the point where you just turn up once a week to go and kill all the bosses just in case you get any more gear, and that's it. So, like, it's about 4 hours a week commitment at the moment. So there's so now I've been like doing the comics again for a few days, and I came back on tonight because the news of the day is I have a price list. Woo!
Yay!
All right. Send it to me.
Me too.
So I'm going to get it over to you, Kyle. And basically, it's not for public consumption. It's only for people who want to check the prices. But
yeah.
So Kyle, look, I mean, there's about 15 to 20,000 items to check the price of.
Oh my God.
That's
Is it on a
not
spreadsheet,
a
Darren?
small task.
Is it on a spreadsheet?
It's on a spreadsheet, yeah.
See if you could send me a copy, I can have a look and see. I'm sure there's stuff I want.
Where's Tempest? Tempest
Yes,
is here.
I'm sure there is stuff you want. I'm sure everyone. I mean, honestly, this is just phenomenal. I mean, it's 25,000 Marvel comics, right from Avengers #1 all the way up to about
it's not the Marvels I'm interested in.
That's awesome.
Oh, but this list is only Marvel.
Oh right, okay. Don't send it to me then.
You're probably gonna make 20 quid alone on 20,000 quid alone on the Avengers you got.
Oh, I don't know. I've not actually sort of looked at it from how much of those groups of comics worth and so on. But
I'm just saying that was a really good buy.
Yeah, well, it was, but they were really, really low grade. So it's hard to know from without.
What?
I mean,
yeah. No, I get it.
See, the problem is that I cannot.
He's so excited by it, he knocked over his camera with his winker.
Damn it, Darren.
Everything all right, Greg?
I didn't. Yeah, I thought I'd unmuted myself, but I didn't. No, it's just my dad ringing up. So I just come home from my dad's today.
Is Darren younger than you, Gray?
Is Darren younger than me? I think he is. Yeah, I think he's a bit younger than me.
so weird. I can't tell any of our. I mean, I know all our ages, but
I think he's about 52.
yeah,
Man, I look devilishly young and handsome, obviously, Bill. But you know,
you're
getting on
born.
a bit now.
You're 7 years younger than me,
I just hide it so well because of my dashing
and
good
of
looks
course Kyle's
and
3 years younger than me,
my youthful lookingness.
and Mark is 3 years older than me.
Indeed.
So I don't know why I remember people's ages so much. And the oldest of our lot, of course, is
Terry.
Terry.
I normally have trouble
Terry's
remembering
two,
people's
Terry's
names,
2
let alone
year,
their
Terry's
ages.
either 2 or 3 years older than Darren. You know, and I feel really sorry for Terry. Terry's going through a whole lot. You
It's
know,
pretty
and
awful.
and
Yeah.
I talked to him the other day, and I said, you and I have an awful lot in common, and because we're both dealing with dementia in our families, and his first wife passed away about 20 years ago. Then he married this woman, and everything was great until she started getting sick. So
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
I hope for the best for Terry. Terry's a good guy. I like him. He's good. He's good on the show too. Well, we're all good on the show. And, of course, there's some guys that, haven't come back in ages, like Nevs. I miss Nevs, but, Nevs has his own.
His heart wasn't there. He couldn't take
No,
seeing an Avengers #1 being bandied
no,
around. It
no.
wasn't good for his mental health.
And then, of course, Johnny Montreal wound up being, well, never mind. I won't get into that. That's a personal thing, but no, I like the core that we have now. The people that and I loved having JM on the other day. That was really good. He's always great.
He'll come back again. I just don't see why anybody'd want to drag him through anything again. So I don't see any more
he's easy.
questions.
I mean, he's easy. That's all there is to it. So, and here's Darren again.
He's great. I just feel guilty the fact there's no one wants to watch him on the channel. It's like it feels sort of like he's doing us a big favor by coming on because we're not helping him to sell him his comic
he
book.
is doing us a big
Because
favor.
no one watches the videos.
The way
You know
I
what I mean?
fully explained it to him is the bulk of it is it's 5 or 6 guys hanging in a pub. That's all it is.
He'd have better luck standing on the wall outside of his house talking to passers-by than he would coming on this channel to try and
shut up.
He's made it abundantly clear to me that this is just as cool because it is literally like sitting at a pub after a Comic-Con, shooting a shit with people that know about comics.
Get your ass over here. I'm going to explain the whole plot line of Guy Gardner.
I missed. I obviously I missed that because I was rebooting my computer. But who are we talking about?
DeMatteis.
And he's trying to sell comic books.
He's a massive comic writer. You've read comics by him for 40 years.
Oh no, I know who he is. But you said that he'd do better off standing on his wall.
He comes in on our show about 5 or 6 times, and Bill's just making the point that he's not coming on here because he's not promoting his comic because he's only promoting it to 5 people.
Yeah,
right.
But he gets to shoot the cock and bull and tell old stories with guys who appreciate it.
I mean, we probably could get a prize for the longest running YouTube show with the smallest number of reviewers.
Yeah.
Well, I did before we get into the Guinness Book of Records. I do want to bring things down a little bit, and I want to discuss the passing of Peter David this week. It's really a big deal.
Fuck, I didn't even know that happened.
Yeah. Peter, he was a friend of mine years ago before he even got into writing when he was a top executive at Marvel. And what was interesting,
it's been 2 years in the making, so I was kind of surprised.
But he he always had a Marvel expense account, and so Dave Sim and me and Dave Stevens, we'd always get together and we'd hunt down Peter because he'd take us to dinner and we'd go eat steak on Marvel.
and Dave Sim thought it was the funniest thing because he had recently during this time period he'd received a cease and desist from Marvel for using Wolveroach as a character.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
so he'd be sitting there eating a steak and he'd go, this is my revenge, my sweet revenge. And Peter David didn't even know what to make of it. He was like kind of concerned Marvel might find out or something. It was just funny.
I
But he would always take us out to eat. Just a super nice guy.
he
And
wrote two of my favorite books ever. He wrote my favorite book ever in Howling Mad, and then Nightlife's another
I
brilliant
thought
one.
your favourite book ever was Defenders with.
That's
with
comic book. This is a book.
Oh, okay.
This is a
he
book.
wrote
He
books
actually,
also. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It's a book. It's called Howling Mad. It's about a werewolf. It's a werewolf story about a werewolf biting a wolf that becomes a man during the full moon.
That's pretty
It's
funny.
fucking
Is it
brilliant.
got an Irish author?
It is fucking brilliant. It's the best book I've ever read.
ABZ, it's great, isn't it?
So,
Yes, ABZ.
Yeah,
That's
but
one of his
I
funniest.
told him a decade ago, I'm like, I just desperately want you to sign my copy of this book because I have his autograph on comics everywhere. And I always wanted him to sign my Howling Mad Nightlife books. But I at least
I've got
got
a
to
book
tell him.
by an old comic writer. I've got a book by an old comic writer. It's an old fantasy. I think it's Ko-Far the Barbarian by Gardner F. Fox.
By
Gardner
who?
Fox, yeah. Gardner Fox.
Gardner Fox wrote a Conan
No,
issue.
Ko-Far. It was a rip-off of Conan. It was a Conan. It was a fantasy, but the guy's name was Ko-Far, I think, not Conan.
That's ridiculous.
But I have a stack of paperbacks, like all the Jones. I'm trying to get every Jones art paperback, but those Peter David ones. First time I went to Japan, I walked into the Marine barracks, and it's completely gutted, and there's a pile of dirt swept up in the corner, and there was a coverless book thrown on there, and I pick it up, and it's a copy of Howling Mad. The year it came out, one of the Marines that were stationed there just left it, and it got swept away with the garbage. So I picked it up, and I was instantly hooked, and I was like, holy shit, this is Peter David that writes the Hulk. And I got to tell him on Facebook and stuff, I got to say, hey, this is my backstory, and you're awesome, and I'd love for you to sign these, but that's my favorite book I've ever picked up. And I've owned like 10 copies of it, because I'll read it till it falls apart. But I can't tell everybody enough. If you can get a copy of Howling Mad, read it. It's fucking brilliant. And I'm not giving anything away because on the cover of the book, it says what happens when a werewolf bites a wolf.
There you go. Ko-Far Barbarian Swordsman
Kothar.
by Gardner F. Fox. That's exactly the same cover as
Isn't
one
that
I've
how
got.
he made his nut outside of comics? Didn't he make his nut?
Yeah, he wrote books as well. Yeah,
Wrote books and stuff. Yeah.
I was on Internet Archive a while back looking at old pulps and stuff like that, and there was a really old one. I can't remember, it was like 50s or something, and it was from the Barbarian. So obviously a freaking total Conan ripoff.
Well, I mean, Peter David had a tough few years, hasn't he? He was almost.
Oh, he's had one foot. Yeah, he was worse than Perez was, and he held on longer.
Worse than who was?
Peter David. His health crashed, and he held
Who was
on
he
for
worse
a long
than?
time. So, huh?
Who was he worse than?
Well, George Perez crashed really hard. When Perez got sick, he crashed hard and fast. And Peter David got sick and crashed hard, but it lasted. That's kind of heartbreaking for me. That's what I tell JM. JM's written my favorite comic, but my favorite comic book writer, novelist, is still Peter David. But it's comic book wise, no, it's JM all day long. I love Peter David's Hulk run. I even like the Spider-Man run. But No.
Wasn't there like some kind of story of he had a bit of an argument? Was it like a bit of with Eric Larson? Was it where like Larson drew Hulk being beaten up by Dr. Octopus or something, and then Peter David had him come back and he trounced Dr. Octopus, no trouble. Do you
Yeah.
remember that story?
Well, that wouldn't surprise me. It's like you got to be real with that. You know, there's like 3 people in the Marvel universe that could lay a whooping on the Hulk, and Dr.
No, but
Octopus.
the thing was, I think what it was, because he's got adamantium arms, doesn't he? So he literally just grabbed him and held him at arm's length, so he couldn't get, couldn't break his adamantium arms, kind of thing. I think
Yeah.
that's what the story was. But anyway, that's like comic books. Everyone writes it how they want to write it, don't they? So whoever wins in the comic depends on who the writer wants to win.
I don't know. What happened to Bill? Bill, what happened to you?
I don't know. He's just a blank screen. I was kicking him
So,
out.
Darren, do you have any comics?
Then who? I've got 3 in my head, but who were the 3 characters who could whip the ass of the Hulk?
Juggernaut?
Well, the Sentry's one of them. He did it.
Sentry, I'd go for one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Juggernaut.
I'd have gone with
Juggernaut can go toe to toe with him.
Yeah.
And Silver Surfer's drained him of his power and whooped his ass.
Who was the middle one?
Juggernaut can stand toe to toe with him.
We know Thanos can beat his ass. No problem.
Really?
Thanos has whooped his ass. But I mean, there's
What about
just
Thor?
they're
Was
few
Thor
and far
any good?
between. So
Thor?
Thor can kind of go toe to toe with him, but like Silver Surfer, look at Hulk 250. In one issue, Silver Surfer does a number on him. You get the.
When it comes to the big strong ones that he's fought, he beats Thing all the time, but he seems to sort of like always end up with a draw. Anybody else he fights, any of the other sort of superheroes, like Thor is always a draw, Submariner is always a draw, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the whole running thing with the Thing was he could beat him, but they go to a draw because the Thing keeps coming back even after his ass is whooped. So the Thing's got the fighting spirit, but yeah, that's just making me think of great comics. Like I said, Hulk 250, the comic stands alone, is just so good. It's just so good. I always tell people read it, but it's heartbreaking. It makes you feel for the Hulk. It makes you feel for Surfer, and they do it in like 32 pages. It's an oversized issue, but or 36 pages. But great story.
So, Kyle, right? I want to. Gray's gone mute, so that, and Bill's disappeared for a moment, and Mark's just listening to whatever. So let's talk turkey, right? So this list of comics that I need you to check the prices of, I think it's going to take you 20 hours or so. Do you watch it? How much? My intent, and I think it's your intent, your desire, is I pay you in comics. So I want to give you $1 rate per hour. So at the end of it, you can have some comics. It's not convertible to money. I would choose a different dollar rate if it was convertible to money, but in comics, I can pay you more. So what would you like your hourly rate in comics to be?
We'll figure it out. It's not that important. It's as simple as what you think. If you think it's what I did is the value of what I want, we're good.
Well, okay. So look, I even though everything I've ever said about a deadline has been a load of bollocks, I'm going to try, like, because I really have reached the point on.
If your deadlines were serious, Darren, we'd all be zombies by now.
Yes, exactly. But I really have reached a point on Warcraft where I can stop and just do a couple of hours once a week or even twice a week. So that's good news for me because I needed to get to that point. And also, money is beginning to get to the point where I know how long the comics will take to get on sale, and I know how long the money will be before it runs out, and it's getting closer and closer. The deadline of both is beginning to converge. So,
Darren,
so
I always thought necessity was going to be the mother of invention here. And I
Yeah.
think
yeah, totally.
we
Here's
between
another
us
fun
have
one,
delayed
Darren.
your launch.
What do I
providing
compare
you
it
with
to?
money
What do
for
what
the
do I
last
compare
selling his
20
part on World
hours
of
of my
Warcraft.
value to?
Did I
Sorry,
show you guys this
everyone was
last
talking
week?
at once there. I heard nothing.
Did I show you guys this last week?
Yes.
No,
I
I
did.
don't think so. Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I'll just show it
Redstone,
real
yeah.
quick for those who might not have seen it.
That's great.
It was a letter that came with a
Yeah,
portrait of Red
I've seen that.
Sonja, which is amazing. But his lettering is what made, and look at his letterhead. I just love this. It's just
Yeah, it's pretty
so
good.
great. So one of the things I'm keeping.
Yeah, don't get rid of that, Bill.
No, I'm just wondering how to frame it. If I should frame all 3 pages with it, or what. But you know what's kind of funny though is I found out, because I can't talk. No one can talk to Patrick anymore because he's too far gone. But what I saw one letter that he wrote to Frank, and it said something about thank you for signing my poster or something. I'm that Scott Shaw brought to you to get signed for me. Well, you know, Scott and I have been kind of on again, off again as friends the last few years because he's a cranky guy. But now I feel like, now that I know they were close friends, I feel like I should give him some of the artwork, you know, because they were close friends, and I feel bad about getting it all. I mean, it's probably worth about $100 a page at the top, and that's what I've been getting for the pages is about 100. But yeah, I got 300 for the color cover, but and I have a few more of those. But you know, his artwork was really not bad. I mean, he wasn't a crumb
No.
or anything, but he was really good. And but he's totally unknown. And
Yeah, I can't remember now, babe. I'll see if I can.
and I'm also going to try to there's a fanzine magazine now called Dummy Magazine, and it's a play on the term dummy magazine because a dummy magazine is a mock-up you do of a magazine before you put it to bed. And they've done a lot of stuff on Chrome, a lot of stuff on the Mickey Mouse,
Oh,
Air
Department Q.
Pirates, and all that stuff. So I'm thinking
Yeah,
maybe
DEPT, not Q.
that's a place to let people know about his art is through that, because people like real oddball artists, and he definitely, you know,
It
fits
might be
that
not coming. I
profile.
might
So
have. Is it?
I just don't want him to be forgotten, especially since I'm so beholding to getting this collection from him. You know, I feel like I owe it to him. He also
Have you played
tried to be a
RuneScape,
script.
Darren?
He also tried to be a script writer for years and never sold a script. And we've gone through at least 50 different scripts he wrote. You know, and so there's boxes and boxes like this of screenplays and unsold comics from the 80s of his. So it's kind of funny and sad at the same time. But he had a good life, so I don't think he'd be disappointed, you know. But I would like some more people to know about him, because I never knew about him, and you know, I'm supposedly some kind of comic historian, and I'd never heard of, didn't even realize he lived right down the road from me. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
And like I have three prints by Mobius, and he said from Mobius to Pat, so they were all gifts. So he knew Mobius, I guess, personally, and it's just crazy. And the same for Wrightson and a few of the others. You know, he knew a lot of people. And my Dave Stevens girl space pirates or whatever poster that I have print is signed to my good buddy Patrick, Dave Stevens. So
No.
I think I might keep that also. It's hard. You know, I've sold most of the artwork, but I'm keeping the oh, I can't think of his name now. Not Reed Crandall, but God, what's his name? He did Sergeant Rock. Not who you think, the other guy.
Hubert?
Gianta.
No, it's
Heath.
Russ
Russ
Heath.
Heath. Russ Heath.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's Russ
Russ
Heath.
Heath.
Yeah.
I got one.
You got one what?
Got one right.
There you go. All right. Now we
I
need to
guessed the
have a
name
laugh
correctly.
here for a minute.
You're very
Darren,
good.
Darren, I got a couple questions for you. Well, I got one main question.
Right,
for you.
before your question, ABC, someone was asking me, had I ever tried RuneScape? No, I've never tried RuneScape. I've been addicted to 2 games in my life. One was Call of Duty, and the other one's World of Warcraft. And Call of Duty,
really?
I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on Call of Duty on the PlayStation, whatever it was, 4 or 3 or something. Like finishing all the achievements and everything. And then there was this thing called deranking, where some arsehole comes and somehow a bug, not a bug, like a virus or something, like a virus attack, and it takes away all your score and everything you've ever achieved, and that's it. You stop.
No.
So I got deranked, and that was the end of that. So I packed that in. So screw in a good way. It stopped me playing it. But
Yeah,
then
You only get addicted to games with "of" in the title, yeah?
yeah.
So the only
Yeah.
game I really play other than Scrabble on Facebook is I've been playing Justice League, Jurassic World live for the last 7 years, and I'm in an
Okay.
alliance and stuff. I love it. I don't do very well on it.
I think you make a brilliant raptor, Bill.
Thank you very much. It's my big mouth.
He's got the claws for it, isn't he? He's got little
Yeah.
claws for it.
I do. But Blanca gets mad at me because my nails are longer than hers, but it's just because I don't
Well,
bite my
one of them
nails.
is going to be shorter very soon, Bill, because it's going to fall off.
It may. I know. I got stuck. I got it stuck in the freezer, Darren.
Put it away, man. Put it away.
Sorry, I'm giving you the Bill finger.
So yeah, ABC, any game that's addictive, it will addict me to it with no doubt whatsoever. So I try to stay away from
2004. Haven't you won yet?
I know one you're not gonna. I know one that you're not gonna like because it's horrible, and I don't know what they're thinking. But DC Dark Legion is the worst game I think I've ever played. They don't explain anything to you.
Wow.
It's wow, that's pretty good, ABZ.
320 million plus users.
I can believe that.
319 million of them are inactive.
Well, I have a friend of mine that works the front counter where I buy my Purple Haze. He's in the top 10 percentile, and he's like considered one of the greats on the phone game. Phone version
What are you
of
talking about?
Call of Duty.
My favorite video game and my favorite, I got addicted to it, is on the PC, and it's still my favorite video game I play here, is a British game.
Fortnite?
Carmageddon.
Oh, Armageddon.
Carmageddon.
Oh, Carmageddon.
Never heard of it.
Carmageddon.
I've never heard of that.
You run around, you drive around and
have any of you guys ever played Twisted Metal?
Oh, Carmageddon. Okay.
Carmageddon. Yeah, it predates Twisted Metal. So
Twisted Metal I haven't played the game, but I'm starting to watch the TV series, and the TV series is pretty good.
I play Free Cell every day. The video game that's been around for 30 years.
Yeah,
watching you play Free Cell.
My wife plays Free Cell as well in the bath.
All right.
All right. So Darren.
Hold on. You're still on hold. Hold that thought. Because when I said that the things are beginning to converge, both you and Mark made a long sort of jokey comment, and I didn't hear either of them. So can I go to Mark and ask you to repeat?
Okay. So my jokey comment was, we between us, I said necessity is the mother of invention, right? So I always thought you were never going to do it until you'd run out of money, right? So we, between us, have provided you enough money to miss the deadlines for the
You
last 6
did,
months.
yeah. Thank you to all of you, but you
We've been his
bastards.
enablers. We've enabled him. That's what it
We've
is.
Yeah, you
enabled.
did, yeah.
Yeah.
We have
And
enabled.
who's your biggest enabler here? This
Well,
guy.
you've all played a part.
No.
You've all played a part.
I
I'm
said that
happy.
you've
I'm
been
happy
selling your
we
bum on
could.
World of Warcraft. That's what I said. That was my joke. That was my comment that you might not have heard.
You
but
said
that was
what, Gray?
a comment. So you've been selling your bum on World of Warcraft
Something
to
like
make
that.
ends meet.
And okay, right. I'm done interrupting Kyle. Back to you.
Back to you, Kyle.
So we look at my 9 to 5. You're asking me about hourly rate. We look at my 9 to 5. When I ran group homes and stuff like that, I pulled in a little over $20 an hour, $22 an hour. So you're looking at $22 an hour for that. Do I compare that while reviewing this? Or do I compare like a gig I got offered 10 grand for a 3-day weekend?
I think you're better off on the lower one.
Yeah, Kings of Leon offered me 10 grand.
I think that's
for a
slightly
3-day
more
weekend.
realistic.
That's 10 grand for less than 30 hours of work. So yeah.
I'll get Gray to check it. It's okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what made me laugh. I'm like, gee, would you be more comfortable with paying me like the equivalent of $20 an hour for my time, or would you be more comfortable with? I don't even know what that breaks down to. It was
well, look,
obscene that they
in my head, right? So this is a job that's already been done. I've already assigned a price to every comic. Your job is to check it to find my screw ups,
It's
and there will be
proofreading.
plenty.
I know.
There will be
That's-
plenty. I think it's going to take 20 hours. In my head, I thought, what about if I give you $20 worth of credit? That's $400 for the job. And then if you come back and you find me $10,000 worth of errors, I'll probably give you a bit more than 400 because you
yeah,
say
and that's more than plenty.
and if I
That's
can
like
pay you in comics, it makes perfect sense to me.
honestly, you're
want.
probably going to get away with me doing that proofreading for the equivalent of one comic book. So.
Well, that's cool. That I don't mind doing that.
My whole mindset was basically X-Men 101 is a big one on my list, but you know, if something in there grabs my fancy, it's going to be something in that ballpark anyway.
How about a Turok #1?
And
Turok, it's not Marvel. These are all Marvel, Gray.
and honestly, I mean, I can honestly tell you, if I don't feel like I did enough work worthy of that, I wouldn't even debate it. I wouldn't even say, yeah, what I did was worth that. I would be like, come on, dude, I proofread for 10 hours or whatever. You know, I'm not going to take you for a couple $100.
Well, it's a simple case of, you know, there are people who would do the job for real money who would do it for probably, I don't know, 10 or 15 pound an hour. So,
hey,
guys, you're right.
So, you know, that's all it is. I can't afford to pay you like $100 million per hour. It's kind of unreasonable, even though you're worth it, I'm sure.
Well, like I said, you don't need me to bodyguard you at a festival with 100,000 people. So, you know.
Yeah,
I don't.
No, I don't need CLZ. No, this is all homegrown.
And I laughed in their face. They offered me 10 grand for a 3-day weekend. I was like, get the fuck out of here. There is nothing I will ever do worthy of that kind of money, unless somebody was pulling a gun.
A whole war battleship full of sailors, said Kyle, for 10 grand. That's too much.
You know, I mean, if they were worried about somebody pulling a gun, yeah, I get it. But if it's just chaperoning, that was the stupidest offer I've ever gotten.
Now, I've even had to write, and I have already written a set of instructions for you, Kyle. Because I think that's the other lads on the show will be already chuckling at the potential problems of you checking price lists, saying, "That's $1 comic. That's $1 comic."
Yeah. Well, and I'm telling you right now, I will not hesitate to tell you if I think you overpriced something.
Well, one of the instructions, I've put multiple instructions in saying, Kyle, your job is not to tell me these are all dollar bin comics and stuff like that, because they're not. You know when you found that amazing, the Uncanny X-Men 101. I was trying to sell it to you for £4. You remember that day? That's the kind of thing you're looking for.
Yeah, that's what I figure.
So there's like, whole hosts of comics, because I have a price structure on the shop based a minimum price per grade. And so I have a ton of comics that other people are selling at less, but they're minimum priced because they're in a certain grade. And if people don't want them at that grade, at that price, that's fine. Later on, a couple of years in the future, when I've got discount sales they'll buy them then.
I'm going to tell you exactly what I'm looking for, and what I literally meant by overpricing. Literally, like if you mean to put something at 50 pounds and it says 500, I'm going to let you know that. Like,
yeah.
Gross, I'm going to let you know both ways.
You're looking for gross errors.
I'm looking for gross. I'm not looking for ticky-tack stuff. I'm not looking for.
Yeah.
He's online, ABZ. Splat Comics. The link's in the box down below.
Hey,
yeah, online.
Look who got their ears lowered. Tempest got a haircut.
Tempest's new haircut is like is so big. The haircut change is so big. It's like Thor in Thor 1 versus Thor in Thor Ragnarok when he goes into the arena.
I just thought he
okay,
his other high,
that's good. Yeah, when they cut his hair off, yes, you're right. That is what he looks like. He also looks like he's a well-mannered version of one of the members of ZZ Top. But he and Gray could both be.
Tempest appears and is he doesn't come on that often. And what do we do? First thing, we slag him off.
Yeah.
He wouldn't think we loved him if we didn't do this shit. Come on, man. We're men here. We're men.
I'm just hoping he's got some books to show us. You got some books to show us, mate?
I've got some stuff I can show.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Tempest, have you ever shown anyone on any show the Superman figure I sent you?
I haven't, no.
How dare you? And now's the time.
Probably a good there's probably a good reason for that.
Too treasured. Oh yeah.
I remember that. That was a short-lived Marvel magazine.
Yeah, 7 issues. I've got 3 of them.
Wow.
That was just a blip in Marvel's history.
Look at that cover. That's crazy.
Oh,
that's a good one.
And there's also Mystery.
I'm a robot. What? The man who had gears in his chest. What?
And the shop in Aberdeen. Terrible glare, mate. Terrible glare.
I can read them.
Copy bags, aren't they?
Oh, that's a good one. Those have become quite collectible.
Until calculated to drive your bats.
Oh, that's a really hard one to find. That's a very short-lived precursor to Madhouse, isn't it, Kyle? Oh, Kyle's not there.
Mystery comics.
Is that Western?
Western
comics.
I love those covers. Comics. I'm trying to remember who that is.
I don't know what it's Powell Smith.
But who's the artist? I mean, is it
I don't know where that
Anderson, maybe?
From. Coming at that angle as well.
It looks good to me. It looks good.
Someone's ruined his hat.
Hey, everybody, it's me, Kal-El Smith.
Funny enough, that scene happens twice in that story.
An arrow for the hat, through the headdress.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one of the later ones. The later ones are worth quite a bit now.
Is that
because they were low print runs?
It looks like him, but it's not supposed to be.
Who does he look like?
It looks like Mr. Spock.
You filling up, Mark?
Oh.
Yeah.
Me too. Let's cheers again.
Cheers again.
Cheers again. Cheers,
my
man.
With every man's best friend.
Oh. He's getting friendly with that cow. Must be
it's cheap in Wales.
It's
cheap in Wales. It must be.
Yeah, it must be from Texas. He's getting friendly with a cow.
Yeah.
You can't get Pornhub, so you've got to get it somewhere.
You're right, ABC.
That's a nice old Twilight Zone one.
Oh, that's a great cover. That's a George Evans cover, I think. Or not George Wilson.
I like the logo on that one.
Oh, and
Cyborg.
Van
Van
Damme.
Van
Damme.
Damme movie. I didn't realize there's a comic for the Van Damme movie. Blimey.
that'll do.
I don't give a
Is
Van
that
Damme
comic
about
though?
it.
That's some 80s movie
Crap.
madness.
Yeah. So
I
what
am
are you
placing
what
the
are you
movie
drinking
there.
tonight, Mark?
Pinot Grigio.
Oh, Pinot and Grigio. That's just like my two favorite types of music, country
Oh,
and western. But that was a joke in the Blues Brothers, by the way. We play
Was it? Okay.
We play two kinds of music here, country and western.
Sorry, why are you showing us some frosted flakes?
Frosted Flakes.
It's an action figure.
Oh,
Yeah, an
let's
action
see
figure.
it. Let's see it.
Oh my gosh.
Let's see Tony.
Oh,
That's
my dear.
awesome.
Oh, he's spinning the basketball. That's what the plastic things are meant to be,
That's
like spin
awesome.
lines. So where's Snap, Crackle, and Pop?
They haven't done Snap, Crackle and Pop yet.
Ah, sell out. Have you got any of the nans who knit shreddies? As a
I don't think they're going to go that deep.
they don't do them. That's a shame. That's my favourite cereal, shreddies. I do like a shreddy. Oat flakes as well, because it's supposed to be good for cholesterol, blood pressure. Oats.
The other thing that I managed to do a bit of while I've been away is watch a couple of Mark's videos with Alan Class, and they are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Thanks, Darren.
Just like
They are
but
class.
they're such nice, like sitting in a room having a chat, but it's enthralling. Every word coming from both of your mouths is like keeps.
Yeah, he was a really
Keeps you
nice guy.
grip.
Yeah,
Mark even got biscuits.
yeah, I got biscuits.
And you've done a great service as well to the comics world. You really have.
Yeah, I think I captured some stuff that hadn't been captured before. You know, all the distribution stuff. I've not heard him talking about that before.
And it was fascinating, and it solved that mystery of the timing and the Out of This World Series 1 and Series 2.
Yeah, with the Thorpe and Porter
Brilliant.
stuff. Yeah,
brilliant. And some of those rare ones that no one in the world probably even knew until he said it on the interview.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure someone would, but I mean, I'd certainly
What gets me about it is how much of a task it was for him, how much of a freaking Herculean effort to get like distribution, like finding out all the companies, all the news agents that might take it, phoning them up and getting them to accept them.
And he drove all the comics around there himself, doing the distribution around London.
Yeah, I still say transcribe that into a book. Transcribe it. Maybe get him to say more later, but transcribe that into. Make a hard copy of that. Put a bonus DVD in it on Kickstarter or something.
Yeah, brilliant. It was really brilliant.
That's
okay. Yeah,
that needs to happen. Bill did a lot of old interviews with guys like that, you know, from the old days, that it just needs captured. Those questions need answered from the source, you know, because people do want to know.
Yeah, it is captured. It's on YouTube forever.
I think the next series should be about the Collectors Club of Sheffield, the Comic Collectors Club of Sheffield. Get him with Tempest, and he can tell you all about it.
I know. I'm a bit worried about that, though.
You might get 2 minutes out of
that. when was it formed? When was it circa the old Collectors Club of Sheffield?
It was 1954.
Oh wow, that's quite old.
Does that tie into EC Comics by chance?
That's what?
Is he serious? It goes back to 1954.
I think that might be the year of his birth.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a collector.
That's not even how old I am.
No, I didn't think it was.
So.
It's just some bollocks I made up for YouTube, Kyle.
Yeah.
The Pence, what I got from the source was 3 to 5%. That's what I got from the source, was 3 to 5% of Pence variants. There was usually a number, and it was somewhere around 4 to 10,000 comics or something, but it was like 3 to 5% of the print run.
How much was Canadian?
They didn't do
Canadian
at the
was
same time.
again to press, so it was probably at 2,000. At 2,000.
Yeah, I think you're right. But
But I
they
mean,
would send hundreds of thousands. They would send probably hundreds of thousands a month, probably 10,000 books a piece to England.
yeah, if it was, well, they'd never hit 10%. Warzakowski was on the show talking about it.
No,
And
I'm not saying 10%. I'm saying 10,000. Like
well, if
maybe.
it's 100,000 books, but it'd never get that high, because like the highest selling book, it hit 100,000. So they'd usually hit like the 3 to 5% mark. Warzakowski talked about it on here, because the guy that brought him into the industry was Saul Brodsky and that lot, and they're the guys that did it. Brodsky's the guy that did it.
Yeah.
And they had let me know, I got from the source that it was a very small number, and it was first off the press. I got that from the source. That's why the ink's always better. They were first off the press. They would change the dye. I knew the printing nomenclature, and they would change the dye, and it's always easier to change the dye on a short print than it is on a long print. You try and change the dye after you print 100,000 books, you're breaking things.
Worst thing that Saul Brodsky ever did, have a son who put out a horrible comic line in the 80s.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, Veerpoort and Brodsky, there's if you want to know comic history, look up John Veerpoort, it's 2 E's, Veer.
He died at 37.
Veerpoort, yeah, and
He was morbidly obese.
Veerpoort took over for Brodsky, and then it kind of fell into a group of people, and Orzakowski was one of them. That's why I knew Orzakowski's why I knew about the all in color, like the 70s on the Marvel comics, where it had the all color banner, because he was a typesetter for that. And then and again, he's talked about it on this show. But yeah, they'd run like 3 to 5,000. They just print. And then they also told me the ballast story, because they'd have pallets of these books and have to move them. So they'd make them ballast and ship them over there. So the ones that weren't, they're in the non-Pence variant times and things like that, they'd sell them as ballast. So they'd get some money for them instead of discarding them. And that's why certain timeline runs, there's a lot of them over in England, because they used them for shipping ballast, and they were getting rid of them by the pallets.
Hey, what did Shooter have against Bill Mantlo? He's dragging Mantlow's name through the freaking garbage these days, and it's like it's really upsetting me.
Why would anybody drag Mantlo through the garbage?
I know, because he can't speak up for himself.
Well, and his family really doesn't know much.
He's been a vegetable ever since he got hit by a car when he was rollerblading down Park Avenue or something.
Yeah, see, Jim Shooter talking numbers. Shooter would know about those. But see, when Shooter came in, that all stopped. When Shooter came in, Pence variants were done. Shooter came in right at in his editorialship. He was writing, but when he took over right at the time he took over his editorship in 81 was when they went to the dual pricing. So the dual pricing.
I never thought he was that great a writer, to be honest with you.
Well, he got his foot in the door, and that's the big thing. And he was a ball buster that got the job done. So that's why Shooter.
He's also like 6'8", so everybody's scared of him.
But Shooter's not a source for the distribution stuff and things like that.
No.
And the guy that's still around, if you're looking up, just look up Tom Orzakowski. Find him on Facebook and ask him. He'll tell you all about it.
Like we can get Oz back on the show anytime we want, couldn't we, Kyle?
Huh?
We can get Oz on the show anytime we want, can't we?
Well, he's been on once. He'll come on again.
I thought he'd been on 2. Okay.
It's Ors, not Oz, but Ors.
His nickname is Oz.
But he's from the Detroit contingent, and I love that.
He and Arvell Jones were real close friends, or still are.
Arvell and Jim Starlin, Al Milgram, they all came from
All
that
those
one
dorks,
group of
yeah.
guys. That Detroit contingent. I love those stories. Like I said, I wish I could get Romeo Tangal on here, because when you talked about the Filipino artist, he was the one that came in on Nino's coattails, and I've heard all those stories. And I wish I could get him on here telling them, but he's not a public speaker. It breaks my heart. And he's like, do it in print. I'll do this all day long. But,
He's a
he's
really
told
nice
me a
guy.
million stories. But my favorite is still, I'll tell this till I'm dead. Like a run from 1972 to 1977, especially involving Supergirl and Power Girl. Their crotches are always blacked out. Always blacked out, because those guys had a running bet to who could get a camel toe through. And that's why all those are always blacked out. Why the Supergirl crotches are always blacked out. If you see them blacked out, it's because one of the inkers, not the penciler, even though the pencilers played the game too. But a lot of those guys who cut their teeth as inkers and stuff like that, they try and slip a camel toe in on the cover. And that's why all those in a 5-year run, you will not see a Supergirl cover that does not have the crotch blacked out.
Which
Thank
title
you
are
for
you
that,
referring to?
Kyle.
Are you talking
I've
about
always
when she
wondered.
was in Adventure? Or are you talking about which type of Supergirl are you talking about? The Adventure one?
Anytime they appeared in Adventure Supergirl from like 72 to 77, when he tells the story, it's just side-splittingly funny. Because they just
One
had
day
a
we're going to
running
have to go
bet who
through
could
them
sneak a
and check
camel
them
toe
out.
by what editor.
Cheers again.
And
Let's
then
go through the
they
run and
based that on something
check them out.
that like Neil Adams was a part of in the late 60s and early 70s. They would do who could get a cat's asshole on the cover. And there's a Neil Adams cat cover on like issue number 9 of oh shit, what is it? It's like one of them horror books, but there's a black cat walking away, and you can see his puckered starfish, and like he won money off of that. They'd sit around and play stupid games like that, like who could get a cat's asshole on the cover. And the Filipino contingent had a running bet for like 5 years on Supergirl, Power Girl, obviously Catwoman, Batgirl, any of those, but it was mainly Supergirl. And he says you will not find a non-blacked out crotch from like 72 to 77.
See, where's Terry when we need him? Because that's the only reason he buys Supergirl comics.
Yeah.
Hey, Paulo.
Super
But
camel toe.
I would love to get him on it, because it's so funny because he giggles. He giggles like a 20-year-old artist who's, making his bones. And they're like, we do this and we'd have to do that. And then Perez told him, knock it off, because they were trying to carry it over into the Teen Titans when that kicked up.
Guess who we're getting at the store next month?
Who's that?
Joe Rubenstein.
Nice.
I guess. I mean, he's pretty much a legend, but
you just need these guys. You need them in print. And the internet's not forever. If we get hit by an EMP, all that's gone. But print's forever. So that's why I said transcribe it. Make a book. Bill, put it together, make a book. Because we're one EMP away from that being gone forever.
yeah. You're right. You're right.
Because who's going to save it over here? And you could have a power surge over in England and one EMP pulse, just one, and it's just gone. If nobody saved it, it's just gone. But put it in print, and I've wanted that. I begged these guys all along. Every time I talk to one of them, now not on here because I don't get into it much, but
right.
When I talk to them personally, I'm like, write that down. People ask me to transcribe my stories, and I'm like, they're stupid as fuck. But comic book history, well, people want to know that.
Right.
They want to know the backstory. They want to know the inside scoop. They want to know what it was like looking back at all the pages that were just thrown on the floor. Before somebody said, hey, let's pick these up and keep these. And, how many people have doodled something on a bar napkin and then threw it away that turned into, the origin of Spider-Man or whatever. And that to me is all of them. You've heard me say it to JM on here. He has these ideas for stories, and I'm like, well, that may not be AF-15, but it could have been, Peter Parker 150. That you had the idea that you wrote on a bar napkin and you threw it away. I'd give my left arm for that bar napkin about let's have Harry Osborn do this. While they were having a drink and draw. That's what really gets me. So I don't know. That's what the whole Allen Clash thing says. That's why I say get it in more people's faces. Get it there. Especially while Alan's still here. Everybody should want to hear those stories. Not just on YouTube. They should want to be able to, hey, I can see it here, or I can grab this, and because it's not about the money, break even and then make a little bit of scratch, but get a hard copy out there so people have it. And some nerds like us can go, in my library, I have this book and it says this from the source.
To me, this is one of the most overrated movies of all time.
Pinocchio.
No, it's it's Clockwork Orange. Pinocchio.
What?
Well,
the penis.
How is Clockwork Orange overrated? That's the perfect mind.
I was in Portugal when it happened. I was in northern Spain when it happened.
When it came out?
No, he's talking about the blackout.
The whole of Spain and Portugal.
Oh yeah, so it could happen. Yeah. And what was that? Was that blamed on anybody?
Sorry?
Was that
it was some major cable between France and Spain that, I don't know, somebody dug in. I don't know what happened to it, but it failed, and the whole bloody thing went down. No, it wasn't blamed on anybody. It wasn't terrorism.
That's too bad.
I thought the cable just had a siesta or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and like I said, you can do that much damage by like a ship rudder hitting something, a cable that's being planted, and the ship rudder hits it, and chaos breaks out. Just think of what a small EMP could do.
Did you guys? I mean, it's not funny. Some people died, but did you see the Mexican merchant ship that collided with the bridge in New York?
In reverse. I will never understand that.
I don't either. Well, they were trying. It went out of power, and it wasn't very strong, so it didn't really do any damage on the bridge itself. But all these guys were.
When it broke that mast and it went down, I knew people died.
Well, there were people standing on the sides of the mast. They were like. There were people on every level on the mast itself.
Yeah.
It was so weird. I don't know why they would do that. And I would start shinnying down the thing once I saw us coming for a bridge,
Well, and that might have been what happened was the guy in the crow's nest was coming down and he didn't get down far enough.
Yeah, but it was
1 minute you're in control, the next you're not. And
it was just horrible. You
can't just get on a zip. If you don't have a straight zip line hooked up where you can drop, you can't just grab a rope and slide down. You'll go right through the deck.
The Baltimore accident last year, I mean, I don't know why these ships don't have some kind of fail safe where even if everything goes to shit, they can just stop it somehow or drop anchor or something.
There's no such thing as a fail safe because even most anchors are automated, and if they're not, you got to knock them loose. And if it's a large ship, nothing's without problems, but like I said, I've said all day long, we don't need to worry about these little things. We need to worry about somebody walking into London with an EMP and just going boop.
That's the flavor of tonight's show, is the EMP show.
Yeah. Tonight's episode, EMP.
Where can you buy them, Kyle? I've not heard about these. Where can you get them?
What have European members of Parliament got to do with
exactly?
I don't get
European members of Parliament are not that powerful.
Yeah.
You guys know I'm talking about an electromagnetic pulse.
They can bitch a lot in public.
You know I'm talking about an electromagnetic
Spaniards
pulse.
had the nuclear power plant down that day, and solar panel low frequencies, wasn't distributing energy possible. It was nobody's fault as usual, but it was. Spaniards had the nuclear power plant. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Power.
That stuff is so easy to fuck with. It'd give you nightmares if you thought about it.
Somebody forgot to put a 50% of coin in the meter. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Well, some idiot started shooting at a power station near my house one day, and made everybody freak out. And I don't think it was terrorism. I think it was some dumbass redneck, with a bone to pick with the government or something. It was just stupid. It was
Think
just
of how
like
many of them are out there.
What power
people like
stations?
that, or power
Thousands.
stations.
There are people like that. There are
Yeah,
thousands
yeah.
of people like that out
Well,
Doesn't
they're all
something like that happen
enabled.
every day in America?
The woman,
Something like that does happen every day in America.
the woman who stormed the Capitol and got shot. Trump just gave her family $5 million. It's like you're
Yeah.
sending the wrong message. She shouldn't have been
At the
there. There
same
were
time,
senators there. It was ridiculous.
At the same time, they refused to put a plaque up to commiserate the deaths and injury of the policemen that were protecting the
Exactly, and
Capitol.
that's a travesty.
Yeah.
That is really a travesty. Hey, I like that Las Vegas shirt you're wearing, Mark. That's spiffy. I like it.
I've been to Las Vegas
Have you really?
many moons ago. Yeah, when I was 13.
I saw some preview today of a movie coming
I
up.
wasn't allowed to
Oh,
gamble.
it was no, it was the Twisted Metal series, and they blow that sign up, and it's really spectacular looking. But and that sign shows up. I don't know why, but it shows up in more Mexican restaurants in San Antonio than anything else. It's like Gringo Cafe had that very same sign, but said Gringo on it. And I don't understand why. Why? I mean, everyone knows it's Vegas. It just, I don't know.
Man.
It's
I've
just
not read that
stupid.
series ABZ, so I can't tell you, mate. I've not read the series.
I've been to Vegas
No.
numerous times. I had that Penn and Teller story from Vegas there. It's brilliant. And yet, if I ever think about Vegas, my Aunt Karen died in the MGM Grand Fire.
She did?
My
Oh, my
Aunt
God.
Karen and Andrews, a blood relative of mine, died in the
Oh,
MGM
my gosh.
Fire in
That was a pretty
1982.
big deal.
Was that in the
I
80s, can never
Kyle?
look at Vegas the same again.
Was that in the 80s?
82.
82?
82.
Crazy.
It made my
82 is
cousins
43
rich,
years
but
ago, isn't it?
it made my cousins rich, but my Aunt
Was
Karen,
Trump's failed casinos in Las Vegas or somewhere else?
well, his was in New Jersey.
Okay.
They wouldn't let him in Vegas.
No.
Mm.
They have standards in Vegas.
Yeah.
Not
But
many.
yeah, I can't shake
Yeah,
that.
they only allow mob members.
But
The,
yeah,
the one thing I still can't wrap my head around is how on earth they've allowed, because they were never supposed to. There was never supposed to be a professional sports team in Vegas, and now they've got 3 of them.
yeah,
And it's, I mean, it's, everything is corrupt these days here in the
it's
States.
insane. But
Why
yeah,
was they not meant to have one?
it's a gambling haven. You can't
Yeah,
have stuff in a gambling
yeah.
haven.
So you're not supposed to be able to gamble. Now you can gamble on games when you couldn't before.
Well, teams
And
are sponsored by gambling things.
yeah, and that seems ridiculous. I can't believe they would let, yeah. Doesn't make any
But,
sense to
Well,
me. I
you
mean,
always had
because it's
gambling
a
on
conflict
games.
of interest, plain and simple.
yeah,
And people are throwing games. They got rid of, you remember the story a couple years ago, Kyle, where the head ref for the Spurs got kicked
Tim
out because,
Donaghy.
huh?
Tim Donaghy.
Yeah, he was our top ref, and he was betting on games, and
Yeah.
he had a big gambling addiction, and they finally found out about it, and he was out of there. It didn't really cause a scandal, but
It
it
happens in
wasn't.
lots of sports. Even happens in cricket. You wouldn't think cricket would have blinking match fixing, but it has done.
That's funny.
Yeah, if you look up the fatalities list in the MGM Grand, right at the top of it when they run in an alphabetical order, that's Karen Andrews. That is my straight up aunt.
That's crazy.
That's yeah, that was a weird one. That was a small world. And then her son Paul, who went to Virginia Tech and he married an assistant professor from Virginia Tech, and he's a wildlife conservation officer, and his wife was the associate professor to the professor who the shooter walked in and shot. She was actually supposed to be teaching the day he walked in and shot, but they switched days. And the actual
Yeah,
head
Richard
professor
Cheese
got
is
shot.
great. Isn't he? Does he have a residency in Vegas? I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't know that though. He's the guy who sings all the hard rock stuff like he's a lounge lizard. Like, I'm back in black. I hit the
That
sack.
sounds too much like
It's
Tony
been too long
Clifton to me.
since I've been back.
That sounds way too much like Tony Clifton to me.
It's very Clifton.
I could get Bob's Mood on here, but nobody'd get it.
I would. I would. Can we get
appear
Tony
as Tony
Clifton?
Clifton,
Tony
but-
Clifton apparently
Can
is
we get-
still alive.
Can we
They
get
say.
Tony on as well?
Kyle, that drink you're drinking looks like it's got more E numbers in it than any other drink in the world. Yeah, but look at the
There's
colour.
zero E numbers.
Yeah, that's pretty radioactive stuff. That is.
Yeah.
Yeah. You trying to speed up? You trying to speed up your demise, dude? Good job.
Yeah.
Suddenly he has a third eye show up. Hello.
Yeah. Well, my third eye's checking out because I can't even sit up straight right now. So.
Well, guys, it's about. I guess it's about time for us to call it.
99. It's been a couple of hours. Yeah.
I'll send you that list, Kyle. I'll send it over on the
Mark,
Facebook.
great to see
Yeah.
you. Tempest, great to see you. Darren, as usual, good to see you. Kyle, and Gray, thank you. I love you, man. Love you too. Bye, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Have a good one. Bye.
I know.
Let's end it then. Let's put it in. See you later, guys.
Bye.